Hello guys, I'm Dragon and this is Dragon Gaming, and I am coming to you tonight from Timmy Carbine's Patreon. So season 3, we are currently on ISO's map, the Crystal Islands, and this map is awesome. ISO, get up here. You may need to look at your penguin spawn. They're going out of control around here. I'll be sure to post that on your page if I remember. And as always, if you like my content, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Jump over to my boys Timmy Carbine's channel, hit that like, hit that subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bells, people. It gives you notifications when we post a video. Very useful if you're out and about and you don't realize the time of day is around 4 o'clock. You'll hear that bell to save the day, to let you know that we posted videos. Today is a special day. I wanted to bring this to you on the 4th of July, but I got hung up and I couldn't record. Sorry about that. But every year I write stories based on my events and adventures through the communities I'm in. And last year I was playing some Star Wars: The Old Republic with my buddies from Cake Online. So I wrote this story called Independent Intergalactic Games, and I wanted to share it with everybody. So without further ado, time for another episode of Dragon's Den, where I get together around the campfire with a bunch of my bros, and of course I hear cricket in the background, and can hear a pin drop because nobody's around tonight. So, but I still wanted to bring you a 4th of July story. So I'm gonna with no further ado bring you the new Dragon's Den story. My last one was Dino Alchemist. You can find them on my channel. And let's get into the story. Into Independent Intergalactic Games. Every year in a galaxy far, far away, the Supreme Emperor and his wife host the Independent Intergalactic Games. The best of the Starfighter Battalion go up against the best elite combat ops in the galaxy. But this year would be 1 year to remember. Okay, men, we're going back out there, the commander yelled as he walked in. Damn it! We just got back. We need food and rest. Zip it on, whispered Pink. You two got something to add? No, sir. You all want to win the games, right? Yes, sir. Then we need to get back out there and train hard. We must be faster, stronger, and smarter, yelled Commander Leo as he turned and walked out the door. Man, Pink, the commander really wants to win this year, don't he? Dragon stated as she picked up her rifle. Sure, why not? That Starfighter Battalion kicked our asses hard last year, for sure. Hey, you two over there, move it, move it. Yes, sir. Meanwhile, on the other side of the galaxy, the Starfighter Battalion was deep in heavy combat training over McCabe. Hey, Commander, think we're gonna win the games this year? Commander Rolf chuckled and replied, Is that a rhetorical question, Odd? Yeah, I guess you're right. There's no way they're ever gonna beat us. Let's call it a day, Rod. Yes, sir. Beep, beep, beep. What the hell? Republica starfighters in our space. Well, boys, look like we got company. In minutes they were surrounded by the starfighters. Commander, watch out, Rod yelled. But it was too late. Commander, no! Back at the command post, red lights and loud buttons were going off everywhere. What the hell is going on out there, Commander? Bomb yelled in the mic, but all he got was sounds of gunfire and screaming. Bomb jumped up and ran over to the Starfighter information board. OMG. No! Seconds later, the door flew open and the Supreme Emperor ran into the command center. Report, what the hell is going on out there, Bomb? He was still in shock that Rolf's fighter was among the ones that were shot down. Bomb, answer me, damn it! So the Starfighter Battalion was deep in heavy combat training over McCabe when a large group of Republica starfighters gunned them down, and your son, Rolf, was one of the ships shot down and killed. The Supreme Emperor dropped to his knees. No! He can't be dead. He's got to be out there. Sorry, sir. He's gone. The Supreme Emperor picked himself up, saying, Bomb, bring everyone who is left home. Yes, sir. Later that night, the Supreme Emperor addressed the galaxy. Unfortunately, there is no victory upon us in this McCabe rebellion without death. Today, we lost many beloved starfighter pilots. Among the dead was my son. I loved my son more than anyone. The trust I placed in him was of the highest that a pilot could have received. Commander Rolf died doing what he loved to do. He loved and looked out for everyone in his command. I will not sleep until I have the hits of every last one of those Republica scum. But first, I must pick a new commander to walk in the footsteps of my son and become the new leader of the battalion. So this year's winner of the Independent Intergalactic Games will be the next leader of the battalion. I give my highest honor to all of the brave pirates who fought and died today in McCabe. I will see you all at the games. May the force be with you all. Dismissed. Wow, Pinky. Did you hear that? Why, sure, Dragon. I still got my hearing. Sorry, Pink. Rhetorical question. Yeah, the games just got real for sure. Come now, Dragon. We must get some sleep for the games. Pink mumbled as he rolled over to get some sleep. Good night, Pink. Bomb walked down the hall and through two big metal doors to the medical bay. Hello, sir. Can I help you? Bomb turned and pulled out a file. Yes, I'm looking for this pilot. Oh, that's odd. He's in cryo tank bay 3. Thank you. Bomb turned and walked down the medical bay hall that opened up into a big room lined with cryo bays along the wall. He walked over to the cryo bank and tapped the glass. Rod looked up at Bomb and put a thumb up to him. "It's good to see you well." Bomb looked over at his chart that was hanging on the side of the cryo tank. "Good, you will be out of here in 2 hours. I came down here to let you know this year's winner of the Independent Intergalactic Games will be the next leader of the battalion. Rolf will be missed deeply by us all. Do him proud out there tomorrow." Welcome to this year's Independent Intergalactic Games. Each year, the best of the two battalions face off to see who is the best. This year's winner of the Independent Intergalactic Games will be crowned the next leader of the Intergalactic Battalion. This year, representatives of the Starfighter Battalion is Rod and Grogun, and for our elite combat team representatives, we have Pink and Dragon. The 4 representatives walk down the ramp into a cargo bay. Welcome, teams. Today you fight to show who has what it takes to become the new leader of this intergalactic. Both teams were taken to their respected transports. Pink and Dragon grabbed their packs and jumped into the transport. On the seat was a packet of information. Pink reached over and picked it up and began to read. "Welcome to this year's games. You two were picked for your high marks within your battalion. Your skill will be put to the test as you make your way through this year's maze." The transport stopped and the driver jumped out. "This way, please." Pink looked at Dragon. "Keep your guard up." Dragon nodded as the driver walked up to a keypad. A set of big metal doors opened up, and a voice came from the other side. "Right this way." They followed the lieutenant up the hall to a small room where all their gear was taken from them. Then they were told to go into the next room. As they entered into the next room, they looked around the room. To the right, there was every kind of armor and gun you could imagine, and to the left was training equipment you would need to test anything out. At the south end of the room, the lieutenant stopped. "You two got 1 hour to pick your gear and weapons. Then the maze doors will open and you will have to make your way through before the other team. Good luck to you both, and may the force be with you." As the door slammed shut behind the lieutenant, the door wall timer started to tick down. They ran over to the armor and weapons table. Pink looked left to right over everything, then grabbed a pack and tossed it to Dragon. Then they both started grabbing things off the table and tossed them into the pack. Dragon, don't forget the food and water. Yes, sir. Then they ran over to the guns. Pink saw a very defined looking bow and arrows on a rack. Dragon, here, we don't need guns. They will just weigh us down. Just as Pink grabbed the crossbow that was next to it and slinged the quiver onto his back, Dragon looked up to see that they were nearly out of time. Hey Pink, whatever happens out there, I know we will get through. For sure, Dragon, for sure. As Pink spoke the last word, red flashing lights went off with loud sirens. They looked over to see the huge metal gate begin to open. Alright then, let's get going, Dragon, Pink yelled as they ran into the maze. Wow, bro, everything in this place is so huge, Grogan whispered as they walked into a swamp-like bio. Keep your guard up, bro, Ralph whispered back as they slowly walked up the murky path that ended at a fork in the road. The path to the left was pitch black. The right path was covered in water and ended at a dead end. Hey Rod, look over there. He turned around and looked to see there was a wall covered in thick vines. Think we can go over, maybe? Rod walked over to the wall and reached up and grabbed the vines. Hand over hand, he began to climb up. Midway up, he looked down at Grogan, but as he did, the vines grabbed him. Grogan pulled out his testicle pole and zapped the vines. All fell off the wall and into a muddy puddle. You okay, bro? Yeah. Rod jumped up and grabbed his pack and gun up, and they both walked into the dark cave. Rod reached into his pack and pulled out some headlights and tossed one to Grogan. They walked down a rocky path that opened into a cavern that had a river. To the left with glowing crystal. Rod grabbed Grogan's belt. Careful, bro. 2 more steps, you would have been nap time for you. Grogan looked up to see a sleeping green scorpion on the path. Rod pointed his gun down the path and took aim. Grogan reached out, putting his hand on top of his gun. Bro, stop. Rod lowered his glove. Grogan pushed his bow chin up. Among the icicle stalactites on the cave ceiling, there was a huge group of drake bats. They slowly tiptoed past the scorpion, hugging the cave wall tightly. But just as they were passing it, a drop of cold, icy water dripped off the stalactites and right on to the head of the sleeping scorpion, waking it up. Run, Rod, yelled as the drake bats flew down at them. Meanwhile, on the other side of the maze, what the heck is that? Pinky grumbled as he pulled out his scope and screwed it onto his crossbow. Dragon, look over to him. Dragon looked over to him. What do you see, Pink? I'll take it through that water over there. Pink peeked his crossbow over the rock and let one of his green arrows fly. As it left his bow, it whispered through the air right in between the eyes of a two-headed mosasaurus lizard. With a mega scream, it dropped to the ground. Let's go, Pink yelled as he pulled out a thick chain and looped it around the beast, jumped on and pulled Dragon up. Oh no, Dragon yelled as the beast began to wake up. Oh yes, Pinky laughed. Hope you can hold your breath. Dragon wrapped her arms around Pink as he pulled the chains back. The beast jumped to its feet and took off, bulldozing down moss trees. They both took a deep breath as the mosasaurus lizard dived into the murky water. The water was freezing and slimy seaweed slapped their faces as the beast took them deeper and deeper into the freezing water. When it seemed that the best thing to do was to let go of the chain and swim back up, the beast took a sharp right into a small tunnel and quickly flew out of the water, landing on the shore and throwing them off into a huge nest of eggs. The mosasaurus lizard let out a mighty roar and charged the nest. Time to go, yelled Pink, as a steamy hot breath of fire came over their heads and set the mosasaurus lizard on fire. There, Pink, Dragon said as she pointed to a small crack in the wall. They took off running to it as the red-black drake turned its head around and began to chase them. Dragon reached into her quiver and pulled out a white-tipped arrow. She yelled, "Run, Pink, run!" as she pulled the arrow back, took aim, and let go. The arrow flew right into the lost my place, sorry guys. The arrow flew right into the back of its throat, turning the whole thing into an ice statue. Nifty, Pink replied as he looked over his shoulder and picked himself up off the ground. As they walked through the small crack in the wall, Pink looked up. There. Is that light? Pink, look up there. Is that light? Is it a way out? Maybe. Pink replied as they heard a loud screech coming down the path, and the light getting closer and closer to them. As the light was upon them, they heard a faint voice come out over the screeching. "Run! Run for your lives!" The four of them ran down the path, following the river's end. the river ending up on top of a waterfall. Rod yelled, "Now, what do we do?" Pink looked over at Dragon as he grabbed Rod's shirt and jumped off the falls and yelled, "The only thing we can do!" Dragon grabbed Grogan and jumped over. Pink woke up to see Dragon lying face down on the sandy beach. He jumped up, ran over, and scooped her into his arms tightly. "Dragon, wake up! Damn it, Dragon! Wake up! Please, wake up!" Rod and Grogan walked over to see Dragon's body lying lifeless in his arms. "She's gone, man. Let's go. The exit is over there." Pink looked down at Dragon as a tear fell from his eye onto her face. "No. We gotta to go, man. The door is closing, man." As Rod reached down to pull Pink up, Dragon began to cough up water. Pink picked her up and they all ran quickly through the huge metal doors as it slammed behind them. Later that night, the Supreme Empress and his wife walked into the med bay room, where the four of them were recuperating. "Glad to see you all are well. Today you all have shown great bravery, strength, and most of all, your love for each other and the intergalactic. Me and my wife, on this great day of independence, have decided today you are all winners, and we are combining the elite combat and starfighter battalions teams into the elite starfighter combat battalion. May the force be with you all as long as you lead together for many years to come. And thank you guys as the night turns to day in the game here. I will end this story at the end of the story, of course, and this was another episode of Dragon's Den Story Time with Dragon. And as always, keep building to make Ark beautiful, one build at a time. Lead your targets into a box when taming. It always works out better than trying to shoot them in the face when they can attack you. And as always, if you like my content, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to tag that bell so you can see when I load videos up. Jump over to my boy Timmy Carbine's channel and give him a like and subscribe. He just posted a new Shadow of Mordor and it is epic. He works so hard with his content, guys. I love his videos. I'm sure you'll love them too. Give my boy Timmy Carbine some love. Hit his like, hit him a subscribe. And until next time, I'm Dragon and this is Dragon Gaming. I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.